All right, everyone. Today we're going to talk about something really fascinating. Have you ever stopped to think about what controls the actual speed of your body? What's that one master switch that decides whether you burn energy fast or take it slow? We're talking about a small, butterfly-shaped gland, but with enormous power, the thyroid. It is the master controller. And in this session, we're going to understand exactly how it runs the whole show.
So, let's use a simple analogy. Think of your body as a car. What is the thyroid gland then? Well, it's basically your accelerator pedal. It controls your metabolic speed, telling every single part of you when to rev up and when to just cruise along. It is truly the ultimate throttle for our entire system.
So, let's get into it. How does this thermostat actually work? The concept is actually quite simple. It sets the pace for almost every cell in your body. I'm not kidding. From how quickly you burn calories for energy, to your body temperature, to how fast your heart beats, the thyroid is in charge of it all. Its role as a regulator is absolutely massive.
And how does it do all this? Well, it uses two key chemical messengers, two hormones. You must know these names. T3, which is triiodothyronine, and T4, which is thyroxine. Just think of them as little couriers running through your bloodstream, knocking on every cell's door with a very simple instruction: speed up or slow down.
But listen, this is very important. The thyroid doesn't just act on its own, not at all. It's part of a very sophisticated system, a proper chain of command that makes sure the body's speed is always perfectly balanced. So let's take a look at how this command structure actually works. At the very top of this whole organization, we have the CEO, and that's the hypothalamus, sitting right there in the brain. When it senses that the body needs a bit more energy, it issues the first command by releasing a hormone called TRH.
That TRH order then travels a very short distance down to the manager, which is the anterior pituitary gland. The pituitary gets this memo from the CEO, and in turn, it sends out its own instruction. This instruction is a very, very important hormone called TSH. Thyroid-stimulating hormone. The name itself tells you what it does, no?
And where does that TSH go? Directly to the factory floor, which is the thyroid gland itself. The thyroid receives this TSH signal and gets to work, manufacturing the final products, our heroes T3 and T4. And then it releases them into the bloodstream to get the job done.
Now here's the most beautiful part of this entire system. It regulates itself. Look at this diagram of the HPT axis. Once the factory, the thyroid, has produced enough T3 and T4, those hormones circulate back up and basically tell the CEO and the manager, okay guys, job done, you can ease off for a bit. It's a classic negative feedback loop, a brilliant, self-correcting system that prevents everything from going into overdrive.
Okay, so these hormones are now in the blood, circulating around. What happens next? Well, their effects are incredibly widespread. They influence almost every single organ system in the body. Let's dive into some of their most important jobs.
First things first, you have to know the difference between T3 and T4. T4 is like the marathon runner. It's produced in large amounts, it's very stable, it's the reserve player. But T3 is the sprinter. It is about 5 times more powerful and it acts much, much faster. In fact, most of the T4 is just a prohormone, a reserve, just waiting to be converted into the active T3 inside the body's tissues.
So their primary effect is on your metabolism. These hormones crank up your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, which means you burn more calories even when you're just sitting still. This process generates heat, we call it calorigenesis, and that's how you maintain your body temperature. They also boost the metabolism of fats, carbs, and proteins, and interestingly, they even help to lower blood cholesterol.
They are also absolutely critical for your heart and your nervous system. They increase your heart rate and how forcefully it beats, and this is vital. They are essential for the normal development and function of the brain. Too much hormone can make you anxious and jittery. Too little can make you feel sluggish, tired, and even depressed. You see, the balance is absolutely everything.
Now, this is all very impressive, but it brings up a very fundamental question. How does a tiny little hormone molecule actually tell a giant cell what to do? What's the real mechanism behind this whole command? And the answer is just fascinating. T3 doesn't just knock on the cell's door. It's a VIP. It walks right in, bypasses everything, and goes straight to the cell's headquarters, the nucleus. There, it binds to a specific receptor, and this combination then acts like a key, unlocking certain genes. This starts the production of new proteins, and it's these new proteins that change the cell's metabolic activity. It's direct genetic control. Incredible, isn't it?
But like any complex machine, this engine can run into trouble. So what happens when the system fails? This is medicine after all. So let's explore the two major ways this whole thing can go wrong.
We have two opposite problems. On one side, we have hypothyroidism, where the engine is running too slow. The name says it all. Hypo is less. This leads to symptoms like sluggishness, weight gain, and feeling cold all the time. On the other side, we have hyperthyroidism, where the engine is just racing out of control. This causes anxiety, weight loss, and a pounding heart. You see, two sides of the same coin.
So, as future doctors, this is the important part. What is in our toolkit? How do we approach fixing a faulty thyroid? The pharmacological strategies are actually quite elegant and logical once you understand the physiology. So let's have a look. For hypothyroidism, the strategy is beautifully simple. The factory isn't producing enough hormone, so what do? We just give the hormone from the outside. It's a straightforward replacement therapy. Simple funda. The go-to drug is synthetic T4, or L-thyroxine. This is the drug of choice. We use it to treat hypothyroidism right from birth, which we call cretinism, as well as in adults, a condition called myxedema. The logic is perfect. We give the body the stable T4, and it can then convert it into the active T3 hormone whenever and wherever it's needed.
For hyperthyroidism, the goal is the opposite. We need to put the brakes on an overactive gland. And we have a kind of four-pronged attack. We can stop the factory from making hormones. We can block it from taking up iodine, a key raw material. We can stop it from releasing hormones it already has. Or, in some cases, we can destroy the overactive tissue itself.
The main tool we use are the thioamides, our primary anti-thyroid drugs. They work by blocking a key enzyme, thyroid peroxidase. By doing this, they stop iodine from being added to tyrosine, which is the very first step of hormone synthesis. No iodination, no coupling, no T3 and T4. Simple. The production line just grinds to a halt.
Now pay attention, this table is very, very important for your exams. We have two main drugs here, propylthyrosol, or PTU, and carbimazole. Carbimazole is more potent and longer acting, so it's more convenient. But PTU has a unique trick. It also blocks the conversion of T4 to T3 in the rest of the body. This is very useful in an emergency like a thyroid storm. Also, it crosses the placenta less, making it a preferred choice in early pregnancy. We also have other powerful tools. Radioactive iodine is like a magic bullet. The patient drinks it, the thyroid absorbs it, and it destroys the overactive tissue from the inside out. It's a permanent fix. Then we have beta blockers like propranolol. Now these are very important. These drugs don't fix the thyroid, but they give rapid relief from the symptoms, like a racing heart and tremors, while we wait for the main drugs to work.
So at the end of the day, it all comes back to balance. The thyroid is a masterclass in homeostasis. And when that thermostat fails, our job is to choose the right tool for the job. Do we replace a missing part? Do we apply the brakes? Or do we need to perform a complete system overhaul? Understanding this delicate system is the first step to making that crucial decision.